And Kyle, sorry. Well, good morning. This is April 8th, 2025, Knox County Board of Commissioners, Knox County of Ohio, not Knox County, Tennessee. I will make sure people are clear of that. We do have the webmaster here with us. Kyle Webb is our IT director for our department. And so Kyle, thank you for being here and giving us a report.
Yeah, thank you. Since last report, we've been working on a lot of projects, haven't been able to finish up very many, unfortunately, but a lot of progress has been made. One thing is we got the city's website launched. They are now under a .gov, which is nice for them. They're pretty well transitioned, some updates and things here and there. Andrew's been helping them with to kind of finalize things, but that's been on their radar for a long time. So glad to be able to assist them in getting that off the ground. We did finish some work to the second floor conference room. The camera bar, speaker bar has been installed in there. So they can use that for webinars and other meetings that they need, face-to-face interaction. We have completed a backlog destruction of the old county magnetic tape media. So the old tape cartridges, those have all been wiped. We're working on old hard drives and things now to get those disposed of. We did we'll call it a full test of power outage preparedness when AEP had the power off here. So we have a list of things that we found that we need to address going forward, which that was a good scenario. So we know what to expect if there's a power outage, what things we can improve on to move forward. So we're working on addressing all those problems that we've discovered. Ongoing projects. Power outage is one of those for addressing some of the issues there. City website, some of the things we just kind of want to get the website launched. I think if you wait to fix every little thing and every little update, you'll never get it live. So we're just let's get it live and then we can do the tweaks from there. So some of that they're asking Andrew, and I think we're just waiting for an updated agreement with the city to do that. We're still deploying computers at the city. They ordered a couple more computers last week. So adding that to our list of things to do.
So we got the first 50?
Not all of those,
okay.
But they have added some staff in different areas and needed to order computers. Same thing with a couple of county offices have added positions. And so we've had to order computers and just adding it to the queue. And we'll have more to do even after those because we haven't even started on all the county computers that are on for replacement this year. So we're working through them. We did purchase some upgrades for existing computers that maybe still have a year or two left in their life cycle. We purchased some upgrades for those to help get them through that 5-year period. It's relatively inexpensive to upgrade those, so we bought the hardware to do that, and we're kind of taking them as we see them or as issues are reported with computers, we go ahead and upgrade those. Destruction of old hard drives and data is on here. Continue updates to security monitoring controls. There's always things to update. We recently did a change to how we deploy updates to computers and patches and security updates. Now people might see on Wednesdays and Fridays, which we've worked out some of the issues where departments may be here after 4 o'clock, but on Wednesdays and Fridays they'll be instructed if their computers downloaded an update that'll require a restart. It'll give them a notification around 3:45 that says, you've got a half hour, please reboot your computer, or it'll reboot itself. That's just making sure. Some people are just leaving their computers on, until we were seeing, a month plus. And some of those updates need installed, before then. So by putting that process in place, and make sure that those updates get installed at a reasonable time frame, especially if they're a major security update. We're still working on upgrade of servers for auditor, treasurer, and clerk of courts. Trevor's been working with the vendors. I think the vendors are just working out a few kinks here and there, getting those replaced. We are anxious to get those done. We've been ready, just waiting on the vendors to finish up. Access control system, supposedly, this week, Aaron Oakley and Custom Wired will be out here to, finish up some of the install. They started on some of the elevators, but, they're supposed to be pushing out the rest of the equipment this week and next week. Life-size camera replacement sheriff's office. We were out there troubleshooting some other reported issues that we had with communication, people not being able to hear each other. We had 2 staff out there last Wednesday to explore some of those issues. Still not 100% sure what was being seen. Some of the people that reported it weren't there to tell us or show us. So we're going to sit in on a few more of their video arraignment sessions to try to figure out what issues they're having. We think a lot of it would be addressed by a new system, but just trying to get equipment lists and things from Zoom of what they would suggest for that. Trevor is the new CAD machines for 911. Those kind of got on pause for a little while to update some other things and for the 911 systems. So Trevor's going back through and updating all the systems that we had ready because now they're out of date. So he's updating them to get those deployed and installed. And then the sheriff's office fax system has been on here for a little bit, but they've had a bunch of other things kind of coming up and things they want to change and update. So we kind of push that off because it's not a critical need right now. So that's pretty much what we've been working on. A lot of the day-to-day things have taken up a decent amount of time. But we're hoping to get some of these projects finished and a lot of those computers installed so we can move on to the next batch of computers to install.
And Kyle and I'll be meeting with the city later this month, 1st of May, to kind of talk about the IT contract. It appears the city wants to continue that. The contract's up at the end of this year, be the end of the 3-year period. So we'll talk about their needs and our needs, and then we'll come to an agreement hopefully on that. But we are going to try to get out ahead of that early and do a meeting here soon to make sure we're all on the same page. Because the city's going to have a lot of things going on, so we just want to make sure we're handling what they need and their expectations. So we'll be on that soon.
And we receive payment for them twice a year. Is that how that's set up now?
Every
Yes.
6 months.
Yes.
Anything for Kyle?
No, thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Kyle. Great
Thanks,
job.
Kyle.
You're staying.
All right, we've got a few items for you here. Get this stuff here in order. All right, we have a resolution for you to approve to proclaim April 13th through 19th as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, and there'll be a lot of activities going on down in the dispatch center. And but we always kind of do this on an annual basis, and then eventually they'll send up the dispatcher of the year for you to approve also. So
So you need motion? Motion. I motion.
Second.
Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
okay, we have a proven advertisement for legal notice, request proposals for participants eligible with Knox County Department of Job and Family Services. And this is specific to transportation services. This is to publish the notice.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and we have approve an Office of Community Infrastructure Job Certification Summary. This is relating to the revolving loan fund for coin graphics finishing, and this is just their requirement that they have to submit for to verify they're hitting the job requirements for the loan.
Take a motion.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
And those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that does require Bill's signature on there.
Okay.
Okay, then we have approved a personnel policy update regarding employee identification and security access. I think Courtney talked to the elected officials today about
Yes, she
this,
did.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this will be added to the personnel policy. If
Motion.
you approve.
Okay, motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have authorized participation in the Ohio Local Agricultural Easement Purchase Program, and this is for Timothy Smith on Crooked Street in Mount Vernon. 41.679 acres requested by the Owl Creek Conservancy.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
And those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that doesn't require any signature, correct, Trini? Not that we sign on that. Okay, we have approved a bid award for Department of Job and Family Services Opportunity Knox Center, Ohio Means Job. This was the roof project that we opened last week. We did have a substantially low bid, but I asked Todd to reach out to references and to the company, and everything came back good. So we're ready to proceed with awarding that roof for $151,650, and this has been budgeted by the Commissioner's Office to be paid out of Permanent Improvement Fund.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, then we have approve a contractor agreement between JFS and, how do you say her name?
It's
Is it,
a male,
oh, it is,
laddie.
Laddie Davis?
Maybe
Okay.
he's Irish.
Yeah, for the Ohio Means Job Summer Youth Coaching Position. So we see if they bid a while back, I believe it was.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that requires all three commissioner signatures. And then last, we just have the sheriff's meal report, $1.74 per meal, and there were 7,091 meals prepared.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 And then, I've got just a few items for you today, commissioners, nothing major. Yesterday was the interview I did with the Ohio Newsroom for about our opioid settlement. And I think Penny clarified for me, I screwed up the last time. It was Lisa Lloyd that I asked to join me from Community Foundation. I think I messed up her last name, and she was very helpful. He's part of that committee with Kay that will make recommendations to you on how the money in the county should be allocated. And so I think the interview went well. We met for about an hour, talked about the financing piece and then how the process will flow. And I think she mentioned that Lisa and Kay will be here. I think, are they coming early May, Penny?
Mhm.
I think early May to kind of talk to you about some of those potential projects. We have $353,000 currently in that fund that's ready to be allocated out. And they're gonna kind of tell you, which areas they think maybe would have the biggest impact in the community on to release those dollars, because they have to be used specifically for the opioid settlement money has to be specifically used for those targeted items. So they've had applicants and they went through those, and I think they'll be in to kind of talk to you about that process, first part of May. So that's good.
When does that have to be approved, Jason?
How does it?
When does it have to be approved?
Just
Once they,
whenever,
once
just,
they do the presentation, is there a deadline?
no, and the funds, you could let the funds build, over years and then spend it, but we'd like to obviously get the money out to organizations that could provide some impact to the opioid struggles in the community. So
Sure.
I think that's kind of, and I talked to them about that in the interview. Part of the struggle is there's 353,000 in there. We get a piece of that settlement every year over a period of 18 years. So it's gonna take a long time to get all the money. So we have to kind of balance. Do you release that? If somebody wants 250,000 of that money for something, might be a great project, but if we do, then we might not be able to fund other stuff for a few years till the fund builds back up, because we get about 28,000 a year is the main settlement piece, somewhere in that 25 to 30,000 range you get every year over 18 years. So, that's part of the struggle. Then you have to make sure the organizations you're funding, did they have the systems and infrastructure in place to keep the funding going, because they might only get this money from us one time.
Right.
And so you want to make sure they can maintain the program. So Lisa says those are all the things they vetted on for you, and then to be able to bring you and say, here's things that you might consider funding, and then you can do that. A lot of prevention is where a lot of the focus is.
Mhm.
So that will be coming, before long they'll be in, yeah.
May first.
Thank
May
you.
first, okay. And then Board of Elections, I know they were here, talked about that position, and I just wanted to kind of update for you to kind of make a official decision, but it does look like, based on the financials that I had them provide me and I reviewed with them for the partial this year, it's actually a slight reduction in appropriations. Between the offset of seasonal help and part-time help, they could reduce those hours. And they have some state funding, $9,500, and some state vendor savings from the state. So when you factor that in, it's actually a savings to their budget, surprisingly, this year. Next year, looking at a full year, it would probably increase their budget by about $14,000 to $15,000 as we look at right now. So it's not a major impact, and those 2 years together is basically a wash. So if you're in agreement, I can
I agree.
notify them to move forward with posting that position.
My big thing with them originally, and it'll still be, this is accountability. They're giving those kind of numbers, we need to make sure that they.
Right, and I met with both of them on Friday and went through their numbers to verify that the numbers I was looking at and what they submitted to me were correct, and they supported their numbers.
Okay.
So we'll hold them to those numbers.
Yes. Do we need to do a motion or just?
I
just
think
our
if you would like to go,
conversations?
Penny, do you think maybe just have them make a formal motion on that? To authorize that position, I think, just so we can have them posted, just to make sure you're all in agreement.
What position is it?
It's for the elections technology or technician or whatever they call it.
I motion to approve that.
I second it.
Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, then I'll get with Jim and move forward on that. Evidence room, I have a meeting again on Monday. The architect will be back here with the electrical engineer. And we're gonna go out to the sheriff's office at 9. They want to get some measurements, but they also need to check the power that's existing in the building and make sure it's got plenty of capacity to run power out to the outbuilding. And the electrical engineer wants to look at that and make sure everything's good there. So that'll be at 9 o'clock. So we're getting closer to that, and the sheriff was in and has stressed the importance that he really needs that. And I told him we're moving as fast as we can on that, but you know how that goes. Plans have to be sent to the state and approved and all those things, but they are working to get them formalized, and then we'll move on from there. So we're getting closer. The back entrance, north entry project, it is proceeding. There's a lot of work being done out there today. We've certainly run into a few challenges. We found some old foundation pieces under the ground. We found a large hole in the ground. So that went to a void down in the basement. So we've run into a few challenges, but we're working through it. Modern Builders is doing a great job keeping us updated, and I think as of this point, we're still on schedule. So
Great.
that's the main thing. So
That's
we'll
great.
see. Weather permitting through the spring, but
Any idea as to when we'll start seeing structures going
I
up?
believe the metal, all the metal's been ordered because, this project got delayed through the winter, so it's here. The contractor has it. I believe we're scheduled with them in May to actually start seeing some steel going up.
That's an exciting
Yeah, that'll
time.
be,
Yes.
so today they're pouring concrete, working through that. But I believe it was scheduled last week, we were about a month out for the steel to start going up.
Okay,
So,
so we're pouring concrete. Is that ground stuff or
yeah.
foundational
it's
stuff?
Ground stuff with new footers where the new wall will be coming out
Okay.
kind of from the auditor's office.
And then the bigger pipeline, has that been done or is that
No, not yet.
Okay,
That'll go, well, part of it may be done, but that was all dug up out there, so.
Yeah.
That was all getting done before they poured, so it might be done now.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
We've definitely had a few challenges, but every time we do anything on this building, we run into, this.
And into other morgues.
Yeah, well, even when we did the back years ago, we found there were other foundations. There must have been another building attached to this building at some point and was taken down through the years, and they thought maybe it was an old boiler room or something. So I think the back was built in the 20s, the front was built in the 50s, and it was cobbled together, and we run into a challenge every time we undertake a project here, so. So we've got those, and then Penny has some minutes and the bills for you to sign today, and that's all I had for you.
Okay. Brenda, yeah, anything, sure.
No, I don't have
Okay.
anything to add
All right.
today.
I have none, thank you.
The one thing I would share, for people who may be watching, special elections started today. We need to make sure that people are aware that on issue 2 doesn't increase any additional tax burden onto the population. Knox County, all 22 townships in Knox County have received monies through these programs. All the villages in the city of Mount Vernon have received monies from this program. It started in 1987. And some of the most recent ones, and Danville Amity Road received $700,000 from this program. This year, Michigan Road resurfacing is going to receive $640,000. The Fairgrounds Road, everyone's talked about that. $700,000 of grant money is coming from this project, and $259,000 of loan money. And then Clinton Township, the Buckeye Addition water line, $200,000 came from this grant program. So those are just a few of those, and want to let people know in Knox County they need to go out and vote yes on issue 2. So if we have no other business, we will go ahead and adjourn at this time. So make a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We stand adjourned. Thank you.